Classroom 2.0 is special because it allows teachers to set up classes manually without having to have mobile device management. So if you don't have a big IT department that's managing MDM, you can set up and invite students manually using Classroom 2.0. So in this video, I'm going to briefly walk through some of the features found in the app. And of course, we're going to talk about some of the headlining features in the Welcome to Classroom splash screen. So you have remote control, you can launch apps, websites, iBooks on every iPad in class. There's a new big screen feature which allows you to project students' work on a Classroom Apple TV. There's Screen View, which will let you glance at any screen in your classroom. And then there's Peace and Quiet, a new feature that lets you mute any device in your classroom with just a tap. So after launching Classroom 2.0, it's going to ask for teacher information. So you just put in your name, put my name in like that. And once it's in there, you just tap done. Just like that. All right, so now I'm going to create a new class and I'll call it 9 to 5 Mac. You can also select a color, and there's no real good 9 to 5 Mac color, but I'll just choose this one, closest thing to it, this blue color. I'll tap done. And if I want to change something, I can use the little info button. I can change my name, the color, delete the class. So we'll just tap add to add a student to the class. It's going to give us a little code. So that is the code that you would give to your student in order for them to enroll in your class. Now, the really neat thing is that the classroom option shows up automatically in the settings app, so they don't need to install anything special. It will show up automatically as long as they're connected to the same network. So I just tap add 9 to 5 Mac, and then I enter the code provided by the teacher to add the class. So 8773, and then tap add. But for this example, one will do. All right, so let me show you some of the things that are possible with the Classroom app. So I can actually launch apps on a student's device if they have that app installed, of course. You see it says fail to open because it's not installed on their iPad. So I'm going to choose an app I know they have, 1Password. And you can see opening 1Password, and that opens up on the student's device. I can even see a little icon that shows 1Password is open on their device. I'll just tap done here. So you saw how I can launch apps. I can also launch a website or an iBook. So if I go to navigation, you see iBooks and Safari. So we'll open up Safari, and then it has my list of bookmarks on my local iPad. So I can open up one of my bookmarks on the student's iPad, just like that. Pretty cool, huh? Could definitely see that being useful, maybe linking to a syllabus or some other research item that the student may need. All right, so let's try some other stuff here. There's a lock option. There's also a mute option, which is a new feature in 2.0, so I can mute anyone's iPad in my classroom. And you can also request to view the screen of one of your students' iPads. So I'm doing that right now. I'm going to always allow on the student iPad, and there you see a little screenshot of the current situation on that iPad, and I can tap view screen to view the full screen. And it's basically real time, although it is a little laggy, obviously, but you can see right here as I scroll on the student iPad, and like I mentioned earlier, you can also use the lock feature to lock down the iPad so that the user, the student in this case, cannot interact with it. Now remember that this would be an entire classroom of students that you would be dealing with, so you can see why such a feature would be handy to minimize and cut back on distractions. You can actually share documents and web pages with the teacher or with the student easily. So I just sent over a web page. You can see it shows up under the sharing button there, and I can just tap that and that will take me directly to that web page just like that. So that's a much easier implementation of sharing when compared to the previous version of Classroom.